My perfect neighbor has been living a double life for 15 years, and I accidentally exposed everything. I always thought Mrs. Chen was the ideal neighbor. Quiet, helpful, always perfectly dressed. She brought cookies during holidays and kept her yard spotless. Everyone on our street loved her. But looking back, there were always weird little things. She never accepted dinner invitations. Her curtains stayed closed during the day. I'd sometimes hear muffled voices from her house late at night, but she lived alone. Last month, I was walking my dog when I saw an ambulance at her house. The paramedics were wheeling someone out on a stretcher, but it wasn't Mrs. Chen. It was a man I'd never seen before, probably in his 80s, looking confused and calling out for someone named Linda. But that was just the beginning. The next day, I knocked on her door to check if she was okay. When she answered, her eyes were red and puffy from crying. Her usually perfect appearance was disheveled, hair messy, wearing the same clothes from yesterday. I asked about the man, thinking maybe it was a visiting relative. She looked genuinely confused for a moment, like she was trying to remember a rehearsed story, then quickly said it was her uncle from out of town who had a medical emergency. Something felt seriously off. I'd lived next to her for 8 years, and she'd never once mentioned having family. Her mailbox had always only shown her name. Plus, I'd heard that man calling for Linda, but her name was Susan. What I discovered next changed everything. That weekend, I was gardening when I overheard her on the phone in her backyard. She was sobbing, talking about someone named Robert, saying she was sorry she couldn't visit him anymore. She kept mentioning the facility and how the costs were draining their savings. She talked about how scared he must be, waking up in a strange place without her. That's when it hit me. The man in the ambulance wasn't visiting. He had been living there the entire time. Mrs. Chen had been secretly caring for someone, probably her husband with dementia, for years. The perfect neighbor act was her carefully constructed facade to make sure no one asked too many questions or got too close to discover her secret. When I finally worked up the courage to approach her about it, she completely broke down. Robert was her husband of 40 years. Early onset Alzheimer's hit him when he was only 65. She'd been his full-time caregiver ever since.